Hi, my name is Sarah Evans. I wanted to create a short video today to look at a pose that is in our practice of Journey into Power. It is Flip Dog pose. So I'm going to come over here to my mat. Flip Dog happens typically after our sun salutation B. So we start Flip Dog from Downward Facing Dog pose. Downward Facing Dog is an upside down B on your mat. We will start Flip Dog by bringing the big toes together in the center of your mat and creating the physical foundation of the pose. So press down through the bottoms of your feet. Keep your right foot active as you lift your right foot up towards the ceiling. Now bend your right knee and stack your right hip over your left hip. Notice that my feet are flexed and my toes are spread. Transition into Flip Dog, keep your left hand on the floor and start to open your body towards the right until your whole pose flips over. Now, take a look at your feet. You want your feet hip distance apart, your feet on 6 o'clock, toes spread and active. Lift your hips up and drop your head back. To come out of Flip Dog, come right back over to high plank, Downward Facing Dog. Let's take a look at this again on the other side. Walk your big toes together. Lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Bend and open your hips. Keep your right hand on the floor and Flip Dog. Right on over. Set your eyes forward towards the wall in front of you. Lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Come back over to high plank. Downward Facing Dog. 2 modifications that you can take from Flip Dog. The first modification is from Downward Facing Dog. Lift your right leg, your other right leg. Bend your knee and stack your hips. Now there's an option to just stay like this, and maybe the whole class flips over, and you stay here. If you're staying here, work the foundation. Press your hands to the floor, and keep working your toes. Pull your toes back towards your knee. Same thing on the other side. Left leg up. Turn your toes towards the floor. Bend your knee. Stack your hips. Downward Facing Dog. The next modification we're going to look at is as soon as you Flip Dog, you'll drop your hips to the floor. And then you'll work the bottom point of your shoulder blades in towards your spine. So the idea of Flip Dog is to start to build an opening through the front of the body as we begin to integrate and awaken our body towards poses like camel and wheel, which come later in the practice. So let's take a look at Flip Dog with your hips on the floor. Come into Downward Facing Dog. Lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend and stack. And then Flip Dog, left hand down. Bend your feet towards the back of the mat and keep your hips on the floor. This is a great pose to be in the work up through your shoulders. Keep your left hand down, and now take the point of the right shoulder blade and draw it in and up towards the chest. Lift your gaze, come back over, high plank, Downward Facing Dog. Switch sides. Lift your left leg up, bend, stack, Flip your dog. Drop your hips down. Again, both feet, hip distance apart, toes on 6 o'clock. Bend your left elbow. This is called field goal post arms or cactus arms. And so you'll work this by pinning your shoulders to your back. Draw the bottom point of the left shoulder blade
Those are our modifications for flip dog. Now before I go, I'll show you one more variation of this pose. Oftentimes, specifically in a power class, you might hear the instructor call flip dog into a wheel. So let me show you what that will look like. We'll start in downward facing dog. Big toes together, the back of your mat. Lift your right leg, bend, and stack your hips open. Just as before, come over into flip dog. Now to take flip dog into wheel, bend your left elbow and spin your fingers in towards the outer edge of your mat. Drop your right hand down. To come out of wheel, turn your fingers towards the outer edge of your mat and take your whole pose back over to plank to downward facing dog. So what you're working in moving from flip dog into wheel is spinning your left hand, your right leg is lifted, your left hand rotates towards the outer edge of your mat, both to come into wheel and to come out of wheel. The other key point to put in is a big bend in the left elbow. This will give you access to rotating and opening through your shoulders. I'm Sarah Evans. Thank you for joining me for Flip Dog. I hope to see you on your mat soon.